Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's this. So there's my presentation on technopreneurship and emerging technologies in TVET. So for the first two bullets, what I perceive is we have already known about the intersection of the technology and entrepreneurship, leading to the terminology of technopreneurship. We have also came up how the economic development, job creation, and industrial transformation is being governed in today's era, owing to this particular paraphernalia of technopreneurship. So now it's our third bullet, which we are coming up with right now. That is how technopreneurship integrates the innovative technologies with the business acumen to create disruptive solutions, new markets, scalable ventures. So when you talk about business acumen, so can somebody come up with what is business acumen in your point of view? Can somebody out of the participants come up with this, the definition of this particular terminology, business acumen? Okay, let me explain you. Business acumen is actually the ability to understand and handle the business situations. This covers the knowledge. This also covers the skills and the experience to comprehend with organizational operations, their functions. So it's about actually making effective business decisions. That is business acumen. And it comes up with inherent skills coming from the leaders. So that is business acumen. So disruptive solutions. So we talked about disruptive technologies in our first session. I would request anyone to please come up with the definition for that. Can somebody come up with that? It would be my pleasure if somebody define me what is disruptive technologies. We talked about disruptive technologies during the day one. Yeah, Miss Sunny, you want to say something, I guess. Yeah, you can unmute your mic. You want to say something on disruptive technologies. We talked about disruptive technologies during the day one, if you remember. So can somebody come up with the definition for that? Mm, anyone, please? Okay, let me explain for once more. Disruptive technology is actually a technology which creates disruption in environment. How it creates disruption? ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the answer for this. How ChatGPT has created disruption in IT market. You don't need graphic designer now. You don't need the guys who works on the Corel Draw. You don't need the guys who work on illustrators. Rather, in fact, there will be a time in some time when you will not be needing even MS Microsoft Office suite. Because ChatGPT and artificial intelligence will be coming up with all the solutions for that. See, that is how ChatGPT created disruption in the market, disrupted the market. So whenever there is a new technology, an emerging technology coming in the market, it creates disruption. DISRUPTION, disruption. So what is disruption solutions? Disruption solutions are the solutions which are innovative, which actually creates something new for the market. And it also, at the same time, makes the old solution, the conventional solution, as obsolete. Miss Umiyat, you got what I said? I hope I made my point clear to you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for seconding me, actually. Sometimes, I mean, I cannot see you sometimes, so I just feel like as if I'm talking to the screen only. So,
Yes, it's
so my
great.
apologies. Yes, my apologies for that. Actually, I would just try to keep interacting with any individual of you, uh, just to ensure with myself that I'm into going with some interactive session. So that is disruptive technology. So what is scalable venture? Can somebody come up with the definition for that? What is a scalable venture? So when you talk about venture, venture is all about having some kind of a business partnership. So it can be a business partnership with the market role players, or this can also be the business a venture with some other business partner. So when you talk about scalable, so scalable means a company's ability to grow and adopt its operations up to an optimum level. So probably that is how actually a company can grow and prosper. It can provide an output to meet increasing demands of the market. That is scalable. So when you talk about venture, so venture is a project. Probably for you, uh, probably for you, like establishing a herbal product based beauty therapy services saloon is a venture, scalable venture. The scalable venture is the one, a project which actually caters for the needs, requirements, and the needs and the demands of the market, and has the prospect for giving output and prosper. So, for TVET educators and the trainers and policymakers, understanding the role of technopreneurship is essential. Why it's essential for you guys? To equip your students with the skills necessary to thrive in a tech-driven economy. See, why Singapore's GDP is 100,000 US dollar as of now, as of today? Because the economy for Singapore is tech-driven economy. So the countries which are right now on the track of converting their economies into tech-driven economy have a very improved version of increased GDP per capita income. I hope everyone knows about GDP per capita income. It's a gross domestic product per person. It's like, in a very easy terms, I can say it's the earning of one individual for one particular year. So in context of Singapore, it's 100,000 US dollar per annum. And you know what is for like my country and also for Myanmar, we are right now almost 2,000 US dollar per capita. So the reason behind this is the philosophers, today's entrepreneurs, they say that it's all about tech-driven economy of a country. So, so when you talk about, just a minute, I'm sorry. Okay. So, okay. So when you talk about the amalgamation of technology and entrepreneurship, we comes up with a new term that is technopreneurs. And when you talk about technopreneur, a technopreneur is the one who actually creates economic development, who actually creates the jobs, who transforms the industry, who is actually also responsible for the global connectivity, who is the one who comes up with user-centric solutions. Okay, so what is user-centric solution? User-centric solution. Someone from my participants, what is user-centric solution? Centric. It's a center, centric. So it's the center. So when you talk about user-centric solution, so it's a kind of a solution which actually circulates around your clients, your customers. which circulates around the needs and requirements of your customers, providing them with ample solutions against their problems. Remember the first principle of having a technopreneur idea? What was that? The first principle, Dr. Kalyar? Remember the first principle for having the technopreneur idea? What was that? If somebody can come up with that. The first principle for having a good technopreneur idea was to find out the problem in society and propose the solution for that. So that was our first and the foremost principle of having a good technopreneur idea. So when you talk about a user-centric solution, it means it's a kind of a solution which provides the solution to the problems of the society. So now let's talk about what are the impacts of emerging technologies in today's era. Emerging technologies are reshaping the global business landscapes, workforce dynamics, and the consumer behavior. How it's doing is like how it's reshaping everything. When you talk about business landscapes, so in today's era, it's an era of massive production. You don't need to just keep on concentrating all the time for having some kind of the versatile and speedy solutions. You just need to consult with artificial intelligence to have your solutions readily available for yourself. How it's reshaping the workforce dynamics. See, there was a time when you used to need 5 persons to execute one task. Now you need 2 persons. One is the architect, the second one is the IT solution service provider. That's it. And how the consumer behavior is being changed. Consumer behavior is being changed. At one time, the consumer used to think that Prof. Naeem can prepare a concept paper in 2 days. So today, the same consumer expects Prof. Naeem to prepare that particular concept paper in 2 hours. That is how the behavior of the consumer changed. So if me, Prof. Naeem, if Somayat, if Dr. Kalyar, if Miss YY, if Miss Khain, if Mr. Daw, we do not adopt these emerging technologies into our professional landscape, we will surely be replaced with the new generation, which are well equipped with AI, emerging technologies, Internet of Things, and all new technologies. You know why? Because a new generation guy who is just 21 years old can prepare this concept paper by using AI, ChatGPT, through prompt engineering in just 1 hour, and Prof. Naeem needs 1 day to prepare a concept paper, which even then does not meet the prerequisite standard of the concept paper and does not even fall at par in comparison to that concept paper, which is prepared by that particular youngster. So that is the difference, how the consumer behavior is being reshaped. That is how emerging technologies are actually changing the landscape of the world. So, fourth industrial revolution has introduced innovation that drive efficiency, automation, and also creates the new economic opportunities for that. If you remember, during our day one, we talked about 4 industrial revolutions. So I guess everybody remember that. If somebody has some kind of a confusion in that, he or she can ask me for that. I can repeat once more for that. Can I see everyone? Okay, so just a minute. Because before proceeding further, I want that everyone knows about industrial revolution eras. So, Miss Maheen, Okay, Miss Moon, do you remember the Industrial Revolution era we talked about? Miss Sander, do we remember that, or should I repeat once more? Okay, just for the sake of your quick reference, I can come up once again if somebody is not remembering what we talked about. There was Industrial Revolution era 1.0, the first one, the first Industrial Revolution. What was that? It was actually invention of steam engines. When the human talked about adoption of technology, steam engines, the invention of the wheels, and it was in back 17th and 18th century. Then we talked about production of electricity. Then the third industrial revolution era was when we talked about the invention of the computerized systems, massive production by virtue of computerized systems. That was the third generation era. And this third generation era, IR 3.0, actually finished on 2000 in the 20th century. So after that, now this 2025, this 25 years is actually IR 4.0, an era of Industrial Revolution 4.0, by virtue of which we are talking about artificial intelligence. And now there is another era coming for ahead of that. What is IR 5.0? So in 5.0, what would happen is we will be talking about the artificial intelligence replacing the human resource. Nanotechnologies, that will be IR 5.0, of course. Probably we will not be needing these mobile phones. Probably we will be doing all these things by virtue of our mental gravitons, the simulations. That is IR 5.0. Okay, so that was Industrial Revolution eras for you. So now these technologies are not only creating the new business models, but also influencing societal structures, improving healthcare, optimizing supply chains, and also enabling sustainable development. So, I mean, how the vaccine for COVID-19 was created, I would call it as invention. How the vaccine for COVID-19 was invented back in 2021 and 2020, year 2020. That was the product of a technopreneurship, you know? See, if you just eliminate the factor of technopreneurship, you would not be having all these vaccines today. The vaccines for measles, the vaccine for the COVID, the vaccine for the hepatitis, the vaccine, all other vaccines for influenza, for the fever, for the flu shots, you wouldn't be having anything if there was no concept for the technopreneurship. So, like that is how the technopreneurship is actually revolutionizing your supply chains. It's creating a sustainable development environment for you people, for us. It's revolutionizing the healthcare for everyone, for the whole society. So now let's talk about these technologies. So now these are a few examples of these emerging technologies in today's era. That is artificial intelligence, machine learning. And what is that? This is the one which enhances automation. It actually provides you an opportunity to have quick decision making and to acquire customer experiences very readily. Do we have some IT guys also here? Anyone from the IT? From information technology sector? Anyone?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I heard a very small yes. So it's from, I guess it's from Miss Thway.
Yes.
Yeah. So, ma'am, what's your definition of how an IT guy defines artificial intelligence?
Uh, artificial intelligence is the advanced technology, is the nearly human brain.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You're
Yes,
right. You're on track.
yes,
Yeah, wonderful. So that is how actually an IT guy defines artificial intelligence.
yeah.
But for me, what is artificial intelligence? Okay, so just raise your hand if anyone knows about AI, so that I must be knowing the quantum, how much deep inside I must be taking you inside AI concept. Can anyone raise the hands who knows about AI? I wouldn't be asking. Don't worry. So I guess Miss Twe and Miss Khain knows about AI. Okay, fine. So let's talk a little bit about AI. Why we are talking about AI and we are more focused and we are more emphasizing on AI because AI is the basis of every emerging technology. Am I right, Ms. Tue?
Yes,
It's the basis of every emerging technology. Big data, cloud computing, AR, VR, cybersecurity,
yes,
any technopreneurship idea which actually involves emerging technology have the usage of artificial intelligence, AI. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, so the artificial intelligence is actually a set of technologies that enables to perform a variety of advanced functions. What includes that? Analyze the data,
yes,
talk about the processes, translate spoken and written languages, decision making,
yes,
and perform many other advanced functions. It can speak in Myanmar language. It can speak in Tagalog, in the Philippine language. It can speak in Urdu. It can speak in English. I mean, you just provide the artificial intelligence with a command and it will be coming up with the solution for everything. That is artificial intelligence. You just ask AI, okay, fine. Uh, Dr. Kalyar needs to have a letter, and this letter will be written to my boss. And in this letter, Dr. Kalyar will be talking about having 15 days leave because she is not feeling good nowadays and she's having a few health issues. And in the end, I will also request my top authorities to deduct this amount from my salary after the completion of month. Tuck, just one enter. Now this artificial intelligence will be creating this whole letter for you. How this artificial intelligence created this thing with you? How it came up with this kind of a letter which is made for you? Like how it came up with this? Because it has a machine learning.
machine
It has a
learning.
machine learning which is a more like a which is more like a brain behind working up behind on it. You know about literature review? Literature review, when you conduct the research, you carry out literature review. Literature review is actually digging inside the existing literature of the background. So then later on, by virtue of that particular knowledge which is available in the market, you prepare and construe your own hypothesis, your own thoughts. That's how you create the gap, and that's how you create the research objectives and the research questions. So, this artificial intelligence is using the same kind of literature review. The machine learning. There is two kind of learning. One is human learning, that is coming from the brain, which has the cognitive abilities. And one is machine learning. Machine also learns through experiences. But for us, our experience is by seeing, by hearing, by listening, by feeling, are six sensational senses, six senses. Whereas in context of a machine learns by virtue of the memory. GB, MB, TB, terabytes. You feed the machine with something, and later on, machine will come up with the solution for any kind of your new problem by utilizing the knowledge which you fed to machine as a machine learning, as a memory, as a part of the memory. That is how artificial intelligence works. And that is how robotics works. But there is one limitation with AI. One limitation with AI, artificial intelligence. What is that? The artificial intelligence can never go through cognitive ability. And that is why the robots cannot express their love. They cannot express their sorrow. They cannot express their grief, their feelings. You know why? Because they don't have the cognitive abilities. They don't have the emotions. There is just one thing which is missing in AI as of today, that is emotions. And from where emotions are coming? The six sensory nerves of the human being. So, I hope we are very much close to the AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, as the name also talks about, it's not a natural intelligence. The natural intelligence comes from the brain, which has the capacity of interpretation, which has the competence and the capacity of having the cognitive abilities to think, to make the decision making. We see there is a person who is begging on the roads. So artificial intelligence cannot interpret properly by looking at the facial expressions, whether if this guy is hungry or not. Whereas a human brain can interpret. That is the difference between AI and the cognitive natural intelligence abilities. So coming next, it's blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is the one which provides the transparency, security, and decentralization in financial transactions and the supply chains. That is where actually today's financial banking system is working on. That is how your, my, and everyone's ATMs, automated transactional machines, ATM cards, works for by uses of this blockchain technology. Internet of Things. Internet of Things, which connects devices and enables smart industries with each other. For example, if you go into some 5-star hotel, what you do? You just pick your card like this. You just pick your card like this. You put the card in a socket, and the tube lights and the fans and your air conditioner turns on. And how's that? It's the Internet of Things, which connects the devices with the smart industries. You just clap like this, and your lights turn off. And you again clap, your lights turn on. What's that? It's Internet of Things, connecting devices with the smart solutions. The logical solutions behind that, data coding. You just code the device. What is the coding? I'll have to code my bulb, my tube light, that whenever you will be having some resonating vibration around you, you're supposed to be turned on. So I'll code my device accordingly. So my device will be coded in accordance with now my action. That if I speak very loud, so the tube lights are supposed to turn on. So what will happen is the tube light is required to be data coded with frequency of the sound. Dumbbells. That is how the Internet of Things works around. So then we comes with 3D printing and additive manufacturing, which has revolutionized the product development and the customization. And the next is big data analytics. What is that? It drives data-driven business strategies and personalized marketing. So, can somebody come up with what is big data or the data analytics? Any definition? Can somebody come up with the definition for data analytics? Okay, I'll explain data analytics for you. Data analytics is actually, okay, let's quote an example for that. So, I'm sorry. So Miss Mew Mew, data analytics is actually you acquire the data for the past 1 year. That how many TVET graduates of my institute, which is GTI KPD, got employment, in which industry? And Miss Mew Mew came to know that 78% of my TVET pass outs of the last particular year got their jobs in Philips or probably in Mitsubishi. And they are right now manufacturing the electronic components. That is the data. 78% got employment in the employment in electronic industry. So what will be your next step, Miss Mew Mew? You can unmute your mic. Your mic is mute. Yeah. So last year, your 75% graduates got jobs in electronics industry. So it's a very good number. Like 78% is a very high employment ratio. So what will you be doing for the next year? You will, of course, be focusing more on electronics department. Because you know that employment in electronics department is more as compared to other departments. So you will be carrying out more enrollment in electronics department. Probably if last year you were enrolling 20 trainees, this year you will enroll 25 or probably 30. See, that is how you make a decision on the basis of data analytics. Did I made my point?
I don't know.
Did I made my point?
My department is academic.
Sorry?
My department is chemistry department.
Okay. I hope I made my point.
Yes, I totally answer.
Yeah, Ms. Khain, you want to say something?
Yes, I totally understand what what you're talking about. I totally understand it.
Yes, thank you
I
so much.
totally
Thank you.
data analysis. Yes.
Thank you so much. So when you talk about data analytics, so the data analytics actually means that you are supposed to be making the decisions for the future on the basis of data acquired from the past or even the present. For example, if you are having a more number of people coming in hospitals suffering from influenza, what you will do, probably you will start making policies how to cope up with influenza. You're having the patients in hospitals coming for dengue fever. So you will ask the health department to focus more on dengue, establish specific dengue wards in your hospitals, and make the medicines for the dengue available in your hospitals. That is how the data analytics works in today's era. Decision making, policy making on the basis of data. So I hope I made my point to everyone on that. So, okay. So going back again to the presentation part, next is, let me just also see the times with side by side. So it's, oh my God, we are running short of the time. No, we still have, I guess, 45 minutes for that. Okay, so next one is cloud computing. So talking about cloud computing, see, there was a time when we used to have small USBs everywhere. So we used to work on the small USBs. Do you remember that? We used to have, before that, we used to have the floppy disks, the very small floppy disks. And then there came an era of USBs. And then after that, there came an era now, which is right now going on, that pertains to
Sir, sorry. Your presentation is
it's not visible.
having no problems. Yes, sir. Sir, try to reshare your screen, sir, again.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. So is it fine now?
Not yet, sir. Try to share your screen, sir.
Okay, I'll have to share my screen first.
Okay, sir. It's okay now.
Okay. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So now it's the era of cloud computing, which supports scalable business solutions and remote accessibility. What you do is you make your data available on a cloud, which is protected with some kind of a server on the back end. And this data is now safe. Like you can probably forget your USB in the drawer. But if the data is stored in some kind of a backend cloud, now this data can never be forgotten. This will always be there, like unless you want this data to be removed. So that is cloud computing in today's era. And another thing is, it can also be made available remotely. Like, see, this on course, everyone from the Myanmar is right now accessing my data and everything. That is remote accessibility. So now there is another technology, which is an emerging technology in today's era, that is augmented reality and the virtual reality. See, augmented and the virtual reality has transformed today's world. And how is it that? How it has transformed today's world? Just a minute. Can somebody come up with the definition? Somebody knows about AR, VR?
I think virtual reality for simulation, for
Yes, absolutely.
construction like this simulation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, what's the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality? Do you know that?
Yes. Virtual reality like this and in reality. And for example, we can check alert in a real place in industry or like this construction with virtual reality, that we can check with the virtual reality for error or problems like this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you so much, Miss Nander, for
Yes.
your explanation. So, uh, let's talk about virtual reality. When you talk about virtual reality, so it's more like simulations. It's more like simulations. And what is simulation? Simulation is something which actually you can see, but does not exist actually. It's just a visual perception of you, but that is 100% accurate in accordance with the dynamics of that particular product. That is virtual reality. So, you would have surely seen the VR goggles. We normally call it as 3D goggles also sometimes, or 5D goggles. What is that? You feel like as if everything is moving in front of you, while it is not. Who has experienced the 3D cinema?
Yes.
Miss Khain, Miss Sumiyat also. I guess Miss Honey has not experienced 3D cinema. Anyone else? Miss Sander would surely have experienced it. Miss
Yes,
Tate
I
has
have
also experienced. So
experience
like,
and 3D cinema.
yeah, so see what happens is 3D cinema is more like virtual reality. Something which is happening in front of you, it's not real, but it looks 100% like real. And you see it through the goggles. So now these goggles can be the VR goggles. These goggles can be Oculus 2.0, Oculus 2.5, probably Oculus. Oculus is the latest technology for the VR goggles. And there is another technology that is augmented reality. You see, you scan the QR code and you just access any database. So who knows about QR code? Miss Khain knows about QR code. Miss Twit, you know about QR code? QR code. Let me show you.
Yes.
Let me show you. When you talk about QR code, so QR code is like this.
Yes.
Two-dimensional barcode.
Yeah, it's like this.
Let's do the like this product.
Yes,
Product.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that is built-in augmented reality. Like you just scan the code and you approach and access the database. So that is a difference between AR and the VR. And how this AR and VR is in today's world transforming the world. Anyone who is in manufacturing sector serving as a TVET trainer, manufacturing sector. Okay, automobile sector, anyone?
Me, sir.
Okay, Ms. Twef,
Yes.
you are from
Yeah.
from the automobile sector.
Yes,
So
sir.
see, what happens is after every 5 years, there is a new technology in the
Yes.
market for automobile.
Yes, of course.
First, it was point engine, then it was that Euro technology, Euro 2 technology. Now here came hybrid technology,
Yes. EV.
EV, of course.
Yes.
And after 5 years, there is also a chance
Yes.
that we may have some other technology after
Yes.
5 years.
Yes. of
So,
course.
so see, for you,
Yes.
can you upgrade your lab after every 5 years? Can you upgrade your lab after every 5 years? Is it financially feasible for you? We cannot hear you. You actually muted your mic.
Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay.
We
No, it's
should-
okay.
We should upgrade our lab. Depends on the technology.
No. Can Myanmar afford
Yes.
financially to upgrade your labs after every upgradation of technology? in the market?
Not sure, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
That is the answer.
Yes.
No country can afford to upgrade their technology after every 5 year or after every 4 year, subsequent to advancement in the market.
Yes.
AR, VR is the solution for that.
Yes.
What you do is you just establish a software.
LMS, like
Absolutely.
automotive simulation. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You just establish a learning management system, which
Yes,
is
of course.
supported with VR simulations, virtual
Yes,
reality
of course.
simulations.
Yeah.
And you just ask your trainees to wear the goggles like this,
Yes.
and they will be experiencing like it's a true EV engine in front of them.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that is how you can save your money. Just
Yes.
establish the smart tech labs.
Yes, of course.
So I am the guy who actually established almost 20 smart tech labs in my country back in year 2023, 22.
Yeah.
So these labs were equipped with 7 technologies at one time. So when Miss Honey will be looking at this lab, for Miss Honey, this lab will be just like a computer lab. But what actually happens is this computer lab has 7 softwares inside the computer at one time. What is those 7 softwares? Renewable energy, electrical technology, electronics technology, welding technology, biomedical technology, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration technology, and automobile technology. And what Mr. Daw will do, Mr. Daw will bring his trainee of automobile technology to this lab. He will ask the computer instructor to turn on the software for automobile and ask the trainees to wear your goggles, and the trainees will be experiencing as if they are inside an automobile lab. So later on, Miss Sander will came to the same lab. She will be asking the computer instructor, okay, turn on the welding lab for me. The same computer lab, just with one particular click, will be converted into welding lab. So now she will teach her students on TIG, MIG, SMA, SAW, and arc welding, underwater welding, or any other kind of a welding which institute cannot afford to physically buy, to physically acquire. So that is the usage of AR, VR. So coming again back to my presentation. So I hope all can see my next slide, which is impact of emerging technologies.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, thank you so much. So when you talk about emerging technologies, they are transforming the societies by reshaping industries. See, we discussed a few examples in the previous slide, how these technologies are reshaping industries, economies, our daily lives. Their impact extends across multiple sectors, influencing the way people work, communicate, access services, and interact with the world. So some key areas of the societal transformation includes employment and the workforce transformation. Probably in the very nearby future, you will not be requiring 5 persons to do one task. You need just 2 persons. So that is also transforming education and learning evolution. Healthcare, economic growth, smart cities, infrastructure, social connectivity and digital transformation. So that is the prospects of emerging technologies on business landscapes. That is how actually emerging technologies are reshaping our prospects for technopreneurship and entrepreneurial landscape. It's providing us opportunities of automation, personalization, transparency and security, funding and investment, enhanced customer experiences, immersive marketing and sales, cost reduction. operational optimization, and the most important, which is informed decision making. So we talked about the difference between entrepreneurship and technopreneurship. So now I guess you have come up with a conclusion that the technopreneurship is actually about not just operating a traditional business. It's about adopting digital and disruptive business models by usage of technology, which we discussed some time before. Am I clear on it? Is everybody with me right now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that is how TVET evolves from just skill development to enterprise development and technopreneur development. And by virtue of technopreneurship, you create an agitation in the market. You becomes a disruptor of an industry. So again, this slide is clear with every one of you. What you are supposed to be doing now, you guys all are TVET practitioners. You all guys are IT professionals, scientists, science guys. So you guys are actually supposed to be coming up with ideas for the incubators, for the mentorship, to have industry partnerships for your trainees, creating business opportunities, market demands, and creating the values for the society through the key enablers. What this will do? This will leverage the digital platforms, and this can build technology-based solutions. It can also integrate innovation into the business models to stay more competitive with the market. And it also encourages the problem solving and adaptability. So now, coming towards the sectors, I guess we are left with only probably how much minutes more left? We are left with very less time, probably. So this is the first sector. That's how manufacturing and industry sector is being transformed. Smart factories, utilizing artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics for automation. I'm sorry. "3D printing, enabling customized production and reducing the wastage. Predictive maintenance using big data analytics to prevent machinery breakdowns. Probably you are coming up with an analysis that there is one machine which is breaking thread every time after every 1 hour. So you came up with an idea that I need to do predictive maintenance for that particular machinery. See, that is how you are revolutionizing with manufacturing and industry sector. Healthcare. I talked about having the importance of vaccines. That is how the genetic research and biotechnology advancement is reshaping our today's world. AI-driven diagnostics. Probably after every 1 month or during the month of June every year, I feel sick. Why is that? Why I feel sick after every year in only in the month of June? Okay. So in the month of June, there is a pollen allergy all across in my city. So what you can do is, during that particular one pollen season, you can ask your citizens to put on the masks to avoid the pollen allergy. Finance, fintech. Can you use the ATM if you are not coming up with a security coming from your bank side? No. Nobody would be coming up with working with kind of a bank which does not secure your money or resources. So blockchain is the solution for that, which ensures the transactions, which ensures the fraud preventions, AI-powered risk analysis and financial advisory, digital banking and mobile payments, LMS, AR/VR, augmented reality, virtual reality. See, You can also see in the picture, all the trainees are wearing the goggles. They are experiences AI-powered e-learning paraphernalia, cloud-based education platforms, enabling remote learning. Most important, agriculture and agri-tech. Do somebody knows about drone pesticization? Somebody knows about drone pesticization? Okay. Nowadays in agriculture, you don't need a farmer to pesticize his crops manually by the machine. It's hazardous. It's not good for his health. And it's also time taking. Am I right? Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, thank you. So what you do in today's era is you are using the drone technology. You just put the pesticides in drone and you just command the drone to pesticize your whole crops. That is more eco-friendly. That is more customized in accordance with your requirements. That is also good for your health. You would not be falling any hazardous pollutants coming from the pesticides. And that is also time economical. You can have the better crop yields. That is how Internet of Things is revolutionizing today's technopreneurship, retail services. Again, we are coming through the blockchain, AR, VR, and AI-powered recommendation engines personalized in accordance with the customer experiences. Amazon, that is AI augmented retail service. And what is popular over there in Myanmar? Like Amazon, it's popular in Canada, in USA, over here also in this particular part of the world. What is the famous e-commerce platform in Myanmar? Can I know?
Shop.com.
Sorry?
Shop.com.
Okay, Shatoko. So
Yes.
see, what's happening is that is coming up with AI-powered solutions and the recommendations for you. See, sometimes you would have experienced some very unique kind of a phenomena. What is that? That phenomena is you actually Googled something like, probably, I want to purchase a smartphone having 100 megapixel camera. So after that, when you switch on your Facebook or your Twitter, you will be seeing the advertisements for the mobile phones having 100 megapixel camera. Have somebody experienced this before? I cannot see anyone. What's happening? Has somebody ever experienced this?
Yes,
before?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Khain has experienced this. Anyone else who experienced this phenomena? You searched on Google about a particular thing, and when you came back to the Facebook, you saw your Facebook was coming up with kind of a advertisement for the same product you were looking for on the Google. Miss Mio, have you experienced this before? Ever experienced?
From Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. You search something on Google and the same thing came on your Facebook also. That is artificial intelligence. That is actually how artificial intelligence dovetailed with your retail services. It fetched the data from your Google history and it dovetailed and integrated the data of your Google history with your interest in Facebook. And that is how it dovetailed your Google search history with your interest. on your social media platform. See, that's how it works.
YouTube channel này vài bạn.
So it's my last slide. I guess we are already done with all the slides. I'm sorry. So yeah, so that is how actually it works with. So now, can you see my last slide? Successful examples of technopreneurship.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now these are a few examples of technopreneurs which have been successful all across the world. Elon Musk, Jack Ma, Brian Chesky, Mark Zuckerberg, Patrick and John Collison, Nadeem Makarim, Ritesh Agarwal, Tenhui Ling, Masayoshi-san, Steve Jobs, the one who actually created the Apple, Silicon Valley, and the Jeff Bezos. So the convergence of technologies, entrepreneurship is the key to success, which lies in the strategic integration of existing and emerging technologies. Existing technologies such as AI, blockchain, IoT, they offer immediate opportunities for the startups to scale, while emerging technologies like quantum computing, 6G, and XR will redefine industry in the near future. The ability to adopt to these advancements, identify gaps, and innovate scalable solutions will determine the next wave of successful tech-driven businesses. So thank you so much. That was all from my side for this particular presentation of today.
Again, I welcome you all to this program, and the topic theme paper for this particular session is creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem in TVET institutions. So let me minimize this screen. So here we will be just going quickly through the introduction of entrepreneurship, technopreneurship, innovation, startups. And basically, we will be focusing on the domains of entrepreneurial ecosystem and how to develop an entrepreneurial ecosystem within TVET institutions in Myanmar. So I will not go in the definitions or details of what is entrepreneurship, because till now already these might have been covered in the various sessions. So just I have taken some glimpses to give you a sort of inspiration what is actually entrepreneurship from the successful entrepreneurs. So these are some of the sayings which we have taken from some successful entrepreneurs. See, it is on both the ways. Like we have this founder of Nicole. She shares that we are mostly excited to become an entrepreneur. But mostly when we start our new business, when we start our innovative product, we get discouraged. But if you want to continue with entrepreneurship, it means staying committed to your goals beyond your feelings of excitement. So what they want to say is initially we are excited to become an entrepreneur, but once we start facing some problems, then this excitement is lost. But you have to keep this thing in mind, why I started this entrepreneurship. So another founder says, CEO of Neuroflow says, willing to take a leap, work hard enough to sacrifice anything, and in the name of solving problems. So basically, entrepreneurship is the thing that is solving the problems. Another director of finance, marketing and finance says that there will be never-ending list of problems, but you have to solve it with grit, passion, and energy. And to get to know, live life learning an incredible amount and maximize your impact on the world. If you see some of the other definitions, I have already shared this presentation. So for future learning, you can refer to that. But I would like to share one another very successful entrepreneur, Mike Kim. If you see, he's the co-founder and COO of KPOP Foods. So if you see his background, he was a US Army veteran, which was a tough job. He said, I had been in combat and I have endured many difficult situations, but honestly, entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. So this is what we need to inculcate in the students, that if you are choosing entrepreneurship, we have to work hard, long hours, and you have to never give up in order to take entrepreneurship as your career. So you must have already known about what is technopreneurship or technology entrepreneurship. Since most of us are from technological background, technology entrepreneurship is actually an investment in a project that assembles and deploys specialized individuals. And basically, this relates to advances in scientific and technological knowledge and the purpose of creating and capturing value for a firm. So we all are aware, and you must have already had a session on how to become a technology entrepreneur. So for that, you need to have some disruptive technology. And just here, I have shared some three successful technopreneurs of our time. If you can guess who are these three technology entrepreneurs or techno entrepreneurs, they are very successful. Why we call them as technology entrepreneurs? Because they have brought some revolutionary changes in the technology. So this is what we expect from our students. This is what we expect, that our students also, they are able to create some entrepreneurship or create some something in focus or in regard to technology. So if somebody can tell me who are these A, B, C, who are these technopreneurs, these are very successful technopreneurs of our era. So they have brought some technological innovations, they have brought some technological changes, which has changed the way we work. Anyone wants to guess who are these technological entrepreneurs?
Middle is Elon Musk.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful.
Yes,
Elon Musk.
Zuckerberg. Right people
Yes.
is Zuckerberg.
Wonderful, wonderful. The first one we have also listed here. So we all are aware of Jeff Bezos. He's the man behind the online empire of Amazon. So we need to tell our students, we need to tell them and share their stories, how they become so successful. They are now the most successful technopreneurs of our time. So if you see this story of Jeff Bezos, he started his business like Apple in a garage. He used to sell books. So he started it a few decades back. At that time, if you remember, if you want to purchase a book, you will go to a store, find a book, and if it is available, then you will take it. So he was the person who started selling the books through email. So you send an email. Online business was not there. If you see a few years back, there was no online business. If you want to buy something, you go to the market, you go to the shop and buy it. Similar was the case with the books. So he started selling the books from his garage through email. This is how the online business started. And now we all are aware how big this empire of Jeff Bezos is. He has an online empire of Amazon behind the name of the river Amazon. He has named his business. So even after his divorce and sharing half the business, many of the times he is the richest person, Jeff Bezos. So he brought about this revolution of online business. So then we are all familiar with the founder of Tesla, SpaceX, PayPal. So Elon Musk, it is a big name today. And similarly, we have Mark Zuckerberg. He was the co-founder and he is the co-founder and chairman CEO of Meta Platforms, formerly which was known as Facebook. So if you read his story and if we share it with our students, he was studying at Harvard. So what he actually started, like we have this, he used to have this face mesh type of thing. So he used to put the photographs of the classmates on a website. This is how his popular Facebook social media started, though there was some social controversies also, and he was a dropout of the university. But see, these people, they have brought about some innovation, they have brought about some technological disruptions. That is why they are very successful. So we need to find that potential. We need to guide our students so that they in the future also become these entrepreneurs. Just briefly, we are mostly not familiar with the term innovation and we mostly confuse it with invention. Innovation, as said by our late Abdul Kalam ji, it is a creativity, is seeing the same thing but thinking differently. Or dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result into action. Innovation is an idea, practice, or object that is perceived as new by an individual or another unit of adoption. Why I focus on innovation? Because mostly when we share this with our students, they will say, it is very difficult to innovate. No, we need to tell them the concept that invention and innovation are very different. Invention means you have to create a new product or a new process for the first time, which is not existence in this world. For example, if you take the inventions like computers when they were invented for the first time, mobile phones, televisions, the invention of pen, even the bulb when it was invented. So all these are inventions. When you are doing an invention, you require a lot of R&D, you require a lot of research in it, or some inventions have taken place accidentally, like radioactivity and all. But we need to tell our students, we are not expecting any invention from you, but we do expect innovation from you. Now, what is innovation? Innovation is just a creation of a new product or process from an existing product. For example, I have taken this example of a television. If a television was invented for the first time, that was an invention. But if you see this first television, if you see this, you will see the first initial televisions were black and white. There were very few channels available, and there was no remote control for that. The screen was curved, the thickness was very large. Later on, so this is the invention somebody has done of a television. What is an innovation? Now, somebody thought of why do I have to go so near to the television to change the volume, to change the channel? So somebody had that idea of remote control. Now, remote control was there. Somebody in the technology session, they changed the cathode ray tubes to LCDs. The LCDs were then innovated to LEDs. Today we have OLEDs. So all these steps which have taken place, all these are innovations. So you have to see why we created these innovations, because somebody saw a problem and they tried to solve that problem in the existing product. So the existing product is television. Somebody thought that it is very difficult to go and change the voice, so let us have a remote control. So when the remote control was created, now we know even that is a problem. I have to search the remote control. I have to switch on the button. So somebody created the vocal remote controls, which we today have in the form of Alexa. So we just say to Alexa, switch on the TV if it is connected, or switch on the lights. It will automatically switch on the lights. So this is the direction in which we have to teach the students, that think of something innovative so that you are able to also create some innovation. But you have to see the problem which is existence in your surroundings, maybe in your institute, maybe in your TVT, some problem the students are facing, they can find a solution for that problem, then we will call it as an innovation. So innovation will begin with an idea. The idea should be innovative, it should be creative and imaginative, and very important is it should solve a social problem. So take a problem, understand it and analyze it, and find an alternate solution to solve it. This is how a lot of innovations are taking place. If you see another example, you can give this small assignment to your students. If you see the cycle of a phone which we have, how the various innovations in a phone has now changed the concept of phone also. So important aspects of innovation include it should have a competitive advantage, it should have some business alignment, And definitely very important is if you are innovating something, it should have a customer. The next two part is you should be able to execute it, and it should have some business value. So if you have something innovated something, then you go for the next thing, that is a startup. Then you start your own company. When your company is in the first stages of operations, we call it as a startup company. So startup basically is a company which is oriented with growth, and its objective is as a result of its success. So I will skip this. All of you already know what is a startup in relation to our Indian context. If we call a startup which is in existence for less than 7 years and less than 10 years in case of biotechnology, and turnover is less than 25 crores. But now you will know that there is another term known as unicorn. You must be familiar with the term unicorn. The unicorn company startup, you all know, if you're a student or if you as a faculty or anyone who starts a new innovative business, that will be known as a startup. What is a unicorn? So a unicorn is also a startup company that is worth more than 1 billion. So in the beginning, if your startup becomes successful and it is worth more than 1 billion, then it comes in the category of a unicorn company. So you might have heard this word unicorn. So many startups have become successful unicorns. Some examples are Airbnb, Facebook, Google, though some of them also fail with time, Flipkart, Ola Cabs. So as of on May 2024, there were around 1,200 unicorns around the world. So even after unicorn, there are two other terms. We call them as decacorn and hectacorn. So if you are so successful that your startup company in the initial years is valued at more than US 10 billion, then we call it as a decacorn company. So Walmart, which was acquired Decacorn Flipkart, which was later on acquired by Walmart, that was a Decacorn startup company. If somebody of you have heard about this Grammarly, we are using this software Grammarly for checking English and all. So this is the first Ukrainian startup to become a Decacorn in 2021. Apart from that, we have another company called Hectacorn. This is a term for a company valued over US 100 billion. So there are two listed here. ByteDance, this is a company for TikTok. You have heard of TikTok? TikTok is there. This is the holding company for TikTok. So they are valued at 140 billion, more than that. So they come under the category of Hectacorn. And SpaceX machine, only US company to reach this valuation is SpaceX. So above startup, we have these unicorns. Above unicorns, we have these decacorns. Above decacorn, we have this hectacorn. So these are the terms which we use for these startups. So this was a brief introduction. I wanted to share with all of you with the various terms what are important for an entrepreneurial ecosystem. So an entrepreneurial ecosystem, according to Mason and Brown, a set of interconnected entrepreneurial actors, entrepreneurial organizations, institutions, and the processes which formally and informally coalesced to connect, mediate, and govern the performance with the local entrepreneurial environment. So all these are involved in your entrepreneurial ecosystem. So these things which are part of ecosystem can be the academic institutions. Here academic institutes we can call as TVET institutes. Then the part of entrepreneurial ecosystem is financing agencies who are financing the startups. Who are the customers for whom we are making these products? What is the infrastructure involved? What is the support mechanisms? Here in the support mechanisms, we will be talking about the various schemes, as well as a very, very important support mechanism, that is the incubation centers or business incubation centers. What are the frameworks? What are the social cultural environment? What is the behavioral attitude and who are the individuals? So these all form the various components of an entrepreneurial ecosystem. Participants, the main objective of entrepreneurship ecosystem is the creation of favorable environmental conditions for the support of innovation, creation of firms, we can call them as startups, and employment opportunities for a specific geographical region. Today, we will be talking about Myanmar when we are talking about a particular geographical region. So we have to create that ecosystem. We have to create favorable environment so that we are able to have innovation, we are able to have firms, we are able to have these startups in our ecosystem. So, dear participants, according to this, what are the various domains of these entrepreneurial ecosystems? We can divide this local and global ecosystem under these 6 domains. So, first and foremost is the leadership and the policy. We all are aware that leadership and policy means what are the policies which your particular government, what are the policies of your higher authorities, what is the leadership which we are getting, whether they are supporting the ecosystem or not. The second part is your finance. So I have also listed few important points related to the domains of the entrepreneurial system. So leadership and policy means what is the strategy for the entrepreneurs, what is the support you are getting, whether you are getting some venture friendly or for solving the problems, what type of finance you are getting for the startups, for the growth of entrepreneurship, whether you have access to microloans, some angel investors, some venture capitals. So support is needed. Why do we call it as a startup? I will show you why it is very important for the handholding of a startup in the beginning. So support in the form of finance is required. Then market and the access to market. This provides opportunities in order to check your proof of concept for the sales and distribution. So not only at the domestic level and foreign level also, what are the various laws, if you want to export something, if you want to import something, if it is a large company, if it is a small company, what are the government contracts? Then another very important and a differentiating factor for each country is the culture and the media at that particular place. So what are the cultural beliefs? Because cultural belief will influence the acceptance and promotion of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship ecosystem. So this is also very important. Then human capital. Human capital means do you have managerial and technical talent which is required for entrepreneurial success? Your students, your training institutes, are they supported to provide entrepreneurial ecosystem? Then support system. Here I will be telling you various type of support systems which are available, whether you have the telecom, transport, energy, and other support systems provided, whether you have some mentors, some coaches who will be supporting you for your entrepreneurial journey. Dear participants, these are the 6 important domains of an entrepreneurial ecosystem which are required. So moving forward, in order to support this, there is a term you must be familiar with, that is business incubation. So in order to have that environment, it is very important to take and help of a business incubation. Suppose you have an idea, you want to convert your idea. Suppose your TVET, some students or some faculty, they thought of some innovative idea. Now they have an idea, but they do not know how I will bring that idea to the market. How can I make it into a product, and how I can market my product? So dear participant, this entire help will be provided by a small ecosystem, we can say a part of ecosystem, that is a business incubation. So let us in the next coming slides understand what is a business incubation. So this term, if you go back into the history of incubation, so incubation comes from a Greek word which is known as incubatio. So this is a Greek temple, in a Greek temple or Roman temple in very medieval or old times. People, when they had some problem or some disease, so they used to go into this temple. They used to lay themselves on the fresh hide or skin from a newly sacrificed animal. There was a myth or there was an understanding that if they lied down and they slept and they had a dream, then whatever disease they were facing, that disease, the problem or solution to that disease was formed or was there in the dream. So this was the term incubatio came from that Greek, this process which they used to follow by going into a temple. So this is an old photograph I took from the internet. And it was believed that this god of medicine, Aculepius, he was known for his incarnation into a snake. So this is his rod, a snake is shown, and this symbol is still used on many number of medicines and is also a symbol of WHO. So this is the history how incubatio or incubation started. Later on, we all know that if a newborn baby is there and that newborn baby requires some support in the hospital, then we keep him in the incubator. Similar is the thing, as I showed you in the beginning of the slides, that when you have an entrepreneurial venture, when you have a startup, it is not an easy journey. You require a lot of hand-holding, you require a lot of support. So incubation center is the center which provides you for the support and for the success of your startup. So now we are going to understand this concept of business incubation. This concept started in USA, and it was realized that due to excessive transaction cost and low social networking, many inventions or many innovations could not be converted into useful products. So it was in 1946 that alumnus of MIT, they started the first incubator, which was known as ARD, American Research Development. So that is why top business incubators are in Silicon Valley, New York, Berlin, and Singapore. So National Business Incubation Association is there. They define incubation as a mechanism to support entrepreneurs with the provision of resources and services that helps in creating these new ventures. So this business incubation, it plays a vital role, very important role to encourage entrepreneurship and innovation. Basic fundamental is to provide that ecosystem, to provide the favorable environment and the related support services to the startups. We have different types of business incubators. So for profit, not for profit, university-based incubators, then incubators supported by government, then there are incubators which are supported by some public, there are incubators which are privately owned, then corporate incubators. Then since we are talking about technopreneurship, so we have some technology-based incubators, then mixed incubators where there are mixed tenants. So there are different types of incubators, but here we will be mostly talking about the incubators which must be supported by government or public, or some incubators which are provided under the schemes. So incubators can be depending upon the type of structure, what are the policies which are adopted, who are the tenants who are working there, what is the type of management, and what are the funding facilities which are available in that particular incubator. So it will provide, incubator provides a number of facilities. They provide you with workspace, they provide you with public utilities, sharing facilities like computer system, copy machine, telephone, internet, secretarial services, meeting and conference furniture. They provide support services in preparing project reports, training, then supports for accounting services. Even when you have made some product, if you want to protect it through patents or intellectual property, That support is also provided, technical support for marketing, market information, then networking and making linkages with others. So what you have in a business incubator, if you have any idea how to convert that idea into a business, what type of support you can get. The support can be in the form of loans from the bank. The support can be from investment from the angel investors. So all this help is provided under one roof, which we call as an incubator. So you just have to join the incubator, take the help of the incubator. The incubator will convert your idea, will take your idea to the business. So incubators can help in sustaining these startups. I will skip this. You can see it in detail, what type of help they are providing. This is the significance of business incubators. Let's talk about these university or academic environment or incubators. So basically in our country, in India also, there are higher educational institutes. So the basic purpose is, see what government is doing. Suppose you have any institute, suppose you have a TVET, already you have some resources, your students are there, they have a lot of ideas, and you have faculty who can guide them. The only problem this I am sure TVET must be facing is how to support them. So there are, I will show you some schemes of our country also. So there are various schemes which are there from your own country. So you need to apply for that schemes. So what does government do? The government gives you support, they give you the financial support, and they ask you to make that incubator in your own institute. So the resources, who are the resources, who are the human talent you already have. You already have students of your TVET. So if you get the external support from your government for making that business incubator, you will be able to support the startups of your TVET students. So this is in whole the purpose of a business incubator, to provide that particular support to the students, to your students in your educational institute. So if you are doing some technology, if it is your purely is a technology school, technology based, then you can go for technology business incubators. So here they provide you the facility to incubate technological ideas for innovations. Definitely TVET, in TVET sector, lot of students will be having some technological ideas. The problem is that their ideas are not converted or into a startup or into a final product because they do not have a support. But if they have some external support in the form of these technology business incubators, they will be definitely able to survive that system, and they will be able to come up, and there will be a lot and lot of business which will be started. So this is the basic function of the technology business incubators, to support the businesses which are related to the technology. So these are the top 10 incubator services as per NBI report. What services we take from these incubators? The first help which they do is with the business basic. So my student, he knows this is my idea, I want to convert it into business, but how to make a proposal out of that? That help will be provided. I want to conduct some meeting. I want to take some marketing assistance. I have made a product, but I do not know how to take my product to the market. So that help will be provided by the business incubator. 89% of people take that help. Then we have some administrative services also, shared administrative services. Then we have networking activities. I do not know how to network with other people, how to network with angel investors who want to invest in my business. Then there might be a lot and lot of schemes, like in India also we have a lot of schemes. In Myanmar also there must be a lot of schemes, funds available, some loans available by the government. But how to get that fund, how to connect with the bank, for that also I require some accounting and financial management. That help has to be provided by the incubator. Then if I want to take some loan, I want to prepare a proposal, I want to prepare a business plan. For that help also, this incubator will help your students. Then link to any higher education institution. Some other services like telephone system, phone answering, internet access, All these services are provided by the incubator. So what you can do is, a student who has a good idea, he can join an incubator for some time until his idea is converted into a business. The basic function of this incubator is the job seekers to be converted to job generators through the entrepreneurial route. So, after this, I will show you one incubator which is supported by a government and which is inside an institution. So this university technology transfer. Now, suppose you have made a product, but how you will take your product to the market? How you will be able to sell your product? For this, there was one United States Patent Act was started, which is known as Bayh-Dole Act. So the particular purpose of this Bayh-Dole Act was that initially the government, I will talk to you more in the workshop, but each government, they provide you some research support for conducting some research. Similarly, in other countries, in United States also, the government was providing support for doing research in the academic institutes. But they observed that out of this research, the products are not coming. So people used to do PhD, like I can see a number of doctors here. So we used to do PhD. They used to publish paper, but something potential was not coming out. You have got grant from the government. You have done your PhD. You have published some papers, but government wanted that some potential should come. So they created that act, Bayh-Dole Act. In that act, they said, once you have done your research, convert your research into a technology and transfer your technology to the market. So they allowed the people to use that research funding for making products, for doing something in technology and transferring the technology to the market. This is very important. If you have done some research, if you have some idea, but if you need to get some economic growth from there, you need to convert it and you need to transfer your technology from your TVT to the market, or in other words, you have to commercialize it. So this is the basic function of this entrepreneurial technology transfer. So this was the roadmap which was created. If you have got some government fund, even if you have not got some government fund, you have done some research in your university. I can see many PhD. Whoever has done PhD, they have done some research in their field. If you have done some research, that means you have done something new in your field. So from there, you discover a new technology or you discover a new product. This thing we can do as faculty, as teachers. We can discover something new. Your students who are doing PhD and all, they can discover a new product. After that, the next step is you protect it through a patent, get an IPR protection, so that if you have discovered some new technology, nobody else can copy your technology without your knowledge. Then you make a prototype or you make a small prototype of that. So this is the part which need to be done in the TVT in your academic institute. And this is the part which faculty can easily do with the help of the students. After that, what they say, now you collaborate with some industry, you find a counterpart. We will be talking about industry institute interaction also. So after that, you find your industry partner, you collaborate with the industry, you make a product, you manufacture a product, the industry will manufacture your product here. After collaboration with the industry will do the entire manufacturing. Here you just sign an MOU with them. Okay, if you are selling your product, this is the part I want, 50%, 40%, whatever you sign. So your part has completed until here, prototyping and finding a part. After this, you have collaborated with an industry partner. They will product your part, they will market your part, and ultimately you will get some financial benefit. Then you can have, okay, we are sharing our financial benefit, and this will be the contribution to your TVT or to your university also. Participant, this is the type of approach, this is the type of roadmap which we have to follow. Otherwise, what is presently happening is all these institutes, all of us, we are doing some research. we are earning some PhDs, we are discovering some new technologies, some product, and maybe we are making some prototype, but we stop our work here only. Our main work, entrepreneurship says, technology transfer says, entrepreneurial ecosystem says, don't stop here, take your product to the market. So we'll stop here for 1 or 2 minutes. If you have any, if anyone wishes to add on something before we move forward. I want to share one website also. Maybe in the workshop session, I will share you one university business incubator, how these incubators are working. This is this will be a website. I want to show some incubators which have been started with the government support. But anyone, any inputs from anybody till now? If any one of you have done some produce some new technology or new product or taken to the market, you can give your feedback here. Anyone from the participants, if they want to share something? So moving further, this is the technology transfer roadmap which we can adopt in our universities. So I will not go in detail, but there are various schemes for creating entrepreneurial ecosystem in our country. Government, various ministries have, I will show you the schemes in the workshop also. So various ministries like MSME, micro, small, medium enterprises ministry, they have so many of schemes. They have provided financial assistance, skill development and training, infrastructure support, technology upgradation, EMS scheme, entrepreneurship and skill development programs. Then a number of government initiatives have started, because in India also it was observed that there is a requirement of supportive ecosystem throughout the country. So a number of schemes, recent schemes which were launched and which were very successful. Some of these include Make in India. We are emphasizing to make the products in our own country. Stand Up India, then very, very important for everyone, that is the digital. Digitization is very important. Then there is the national policy for skill development, and then there is another scheme of Startup India. And then there are dedicated schemes which provide you for grants for opening or starting these incubation centers. So I will show you one of the incubation centers in the workshop, which we call under the Nidhi Grant National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovations. Then we have Science and Technology Entrepreneur Parks, Technology Business Incubator, which are focusing basically on creating some new technology. Then we have New Gen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. So all these are the ministries, all these are the boards which are supporting the ecosystem of entrepreneurship. Then there is another dedicated website, which is Initiatives of AIM. These are providing some support at the school level only. So Atal Tinkering Labs, we have Atal Incubation Centers, we have. Then for uplifting of the community as a whole, we have Atal Community Innovation Centers. So these are certain schemes, some initiatives of our country, which are there to create that ecosystem of entrepreneurship throughout the country, throughout the institutions, throughout various things. So, dear participants, since we are talking about technopreneurship, we should be aware of what is going around in the technology. I will not go in detail because it might have been covered by other speakers, but you need to be aware of the industrial revolutions which are there around us. We all know when we talk about technology, for technology, we should know what is the technology which is presently going. So we had these 4 industrial revolutions, Industrial Revolution 1, we have Industrial Revolution 2, 3, and 4. Industry 1 talked about mechanization, the steam power was there. The Industry 2, where we started mass production in America when Henry Ford started this concept of assembly line, electric energy came. Then in 3, we are part of innovation 3, where there is automation, computers and electronics. And today we talk about cyber physical system, Internet of Things, IoT, networking. And these are some technologies which are driving Industry 4.0. So what we need to tell our students, we need to tell our students to do something, so do small projects in these driving technologies which are the part of Industry 4.0. So we are still talking about Industry 4.0, and now we are going into the Industry 5.0. We are going into the era of Industry 4.0, but do give small projects, small topics, so that students can do some small projects in artificial intelligence, in industrial Internet of Things, cybersecurity, 3D manufacturing or additive manufacturing, in augmented and virtual reality, in big data analytics, and definitely in the field of autonomous robots. So these are the technologies which are in Industry 4.0, and we need to work in them. And the participants, all of you will agree, the most important of this is artificial intelligence. We all are aware of this Chat GPT, how it has changed the education system also. Now, whatever you want to find, just go into the Chat GPT, you find, you go to Gemini. So there are a lot of AI tools present there, which we can simply use for that. There are things, some people say, see, this technology is coming, what will happen to the jobs, what will happen to us? But see, if you do not use the technology, then also it is a disadvantage to us. We will be lagged behind. If you are writing a letter, you are writing it manually, other person take the help of ChatGPT, then he is faster, he is more efficient. So it is a necessary evil. The technologies which are being there, these are all the necessary evil which we have to adopt in our day-to-day life in order to survive. So we cannot say that we do not want to adopt the technologies. Whatever are the surrounding technologies, we need to adopt. So dear participants, so this was all the important components of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now let us see this TVT and skill development ecosystem. What actually we want, the requirement is in the center. If you see this small graph, we need work-ready employable youth. So for this, an economic environment is required that promotes job creation, that promotes employment. So this is what is required. And what are the foundation principles? These are the 4 foundation principles, and they apply to each other also. Should be a policy, like I showed you. For our country, there are so many of schemes, lot of policies have been added. So this policy high level is required. When we talk about TVT system, the policy required, the quality has to be there. Then the partnership is the partnership with the industry, the partnership with public sector, the collaboration industry. This is very important for employable youth. Then we require certain resources. Without resources, we cannot go. Now, when we talked about technology, entrepreneurship, if you do not have that particular labs, if you do not have the resources, if you do not have a 3D printer, if you do not have that particular tools, how will your students learn? Sources are very, very important part for the skill development part. Then demand, we need these policies at the country level. Then we need learning through benchmarking, to peer-to-peer engagement, through exchange visits, through peer model. This is a PBT and skill development ecosystem. And now, dear participants, this is one, we will be talking more about this guide, which is by UNESCO and UNIVOC. And this is what we will be talking about in the workshop. So this is just to see, this is, let me change this. Let me reduce this. I think this is in the way. So this is the micro and macro level at the center of the entrepreneurial learning ecosystem. What do we have? If this, let me enlarge this. So this is at the micro level, participants, you will see the micro level means what you are already doing. This is what is there at the micro level, what you are already doing in the curriculum, what you are already doing in the form of support for career path and startups, what you are already doing at the school level, or at, you can say, in your case, you can say at the TVET level. You are designing effective entrepreneurial learning experiences. You are designing certain learning modes beyond formal curriculum. If you see the TVET system at a micro level, these are the 4 components. What is there in the curriculum in relation to your entrepreneurship? What is the support which we have? You already have. Any effective entrepreneurial learning experience you are providing? And what are the learning modes? So all these are covered under the micro level. And what are the dimensions which are required at the macro level? These are what you have at the macro level. This is at the TVET level, inside circle. The yellow circle you can see at the school or TVET level, these are there. And outside, this is the outside ecosystem which is there. In the outside ecosystem, at macro level or at a big dimension, what you have at the policy and stat level, what are the resources which are available, who are the key stakeholders, what is the culture which is present there, what is the type of teacher training which we are providing. Participants, I think, like you are conducting this CPSC supported program, this at Myanmar, it is a part of teacher training only. It is a part of your training only, and it is these types of training program are also necessary. Then what are the various channels through which you can work, and what is the assessment and how you are assessing it and how you are recognizing it. Assessment and recognition, if you talk about this FDP only, after the completion of this program, 5-day program, what you have learned, but after going back to your TVET system, what you have implemented after learning through this program, that will be the true assessment of this particular training program. This is what assessment you are doing for the entrepreneurial route for your students. So these all components are at the macro level. So when we talk about the entrepreneurial ecosystem, these are the 2 main components at the micro level as well as at the macro level. So participants, I think I will have just taken this report, labor force participation and employment rates for the last 2015 to 22. This is the current state, and we will be talking more about this in the our coming workshop. It will be more of an interactive workshop. So this is a report of ILO. I have taken it from there according to labor market update. So how it is going, what is the employment to population ratio, what is the labor force participation rate, and we talk about another very important part, that is the female participation in the system. If you ponder upon the sectorial employment distribution over time in the various major, you must be knowing more, but if we divide into the services, if we divide the total distribution employment, these are the 4 major sectors. But otherwise, during workshop, when we are interacting, you can give more views about this. So services, we have maximum. What is the percentage which is employed in the mining and construction system? This is in gender-wise, male and female ratio. Then what is the distribution for manufacturing in the manufacturing sector? And what is the distribution in the agriculture or dairy? It includes dairy also, agriculture and dairy sector. So this is the sectorial employment. Again, I have taken it from one of the World Bank report for Myanmar. So we will be discussing more about this, how to solve this problem in the workshop part. So we need to develop an entrepreneurial ecosystem within the TVET institutions in Myanmar. These are certain points which we need to talk about. So dear participants, we were talking about this landscape. If you can see here, this is the micro and macro views of TVET with your institute at the center of the entrepreneurial learning ecosystem. At the micro view, we had talked about what you do, that is at the micro level of your institute. What is the curriculum? What is the support you are getting? What is the learning modes which are there? And how to develop an effective entrepreneurial learning experience. And at the macro view, we had these dimensions, what you have, which includes the public policy and the strategy which is available. Then let me share it in the PPT mode, the resources which are there, key stakeholders, what is the culture, teacher training, and what are the various channels, and lastly, what is the assessment and the recognition pattern. This is one chart I had shared with you, how the labor force is moving during the last 5 years. This is the distribution over time based upon the gender, male and female distribution in the Myanmar in the various sectors. Now, we were talking about these few slides before I end my presentation on this entrepreneurial ecosystem. So developing an entrepreneurial ecosystem within TVET institutes. So like Dr. Mo has already told me that we need to prepare that entrepreneurial ecosystem. What are the key points which are required for that? First one is the integration of, integration of entrepreneurship in the curriculum. So I think as per your schedule, you already have undergone one session and a workshop related to curriculum. But this is very important aspect that in your TVET curriculum, in your TVET syllabi, you will have to check whether there is entrepreneurship or not. These some things we will be doing in the workshop also. Then very, very important part is enhancing TVET industry partnership. So dear participants, in January, I got a chance to coordinate and take some sessions on this very important topic, that is the integration of the institute and the industry and their partnership. So we had a very good learning experience where it was emphasized by various experts that for enhancement of entrepreneurship, relationship with industry is very important, because if you are going to do some entrepreneurship, it will be in collaboration with some industry, it will be for the industry, and it will be with the help of various industrial partners. So as per one of the reports I could find, and but definitely the participants from Myanmar, they will enlighten me more. According to one of the report I could find, it is written that we have Ministry of Industry, like we have a Ministry of MSME in India. So Myanmar's Ministry of Industry, it operates 6 industrial training centers. And there is another Ministry of Labor, Employment and Social Security, which offers entrepreneurial education at 3 skill training centers. Now many more centers might have opened, which focuses on vocational training and skill development. Additionally, there are organizations like the Republic of Union of Myanmar Federation of Chambers of Commerce. We have a similar type of chambers of commerce in our own country. Then we have Myanmar Industrial Association, MIA, and we have Myanmar Energy Society. So dear participants, I have listed here just to make sure that you as a TVET, you take the maximum benefit from these various ministries, from these various associations, because as per my knowledge, they will provide you the support which is required for entrepreneurial learning, for your small scale management, for your primarily in the major cities. So you will first of all have to search, maybe in the workshop you can find out these ministries, and you can see what are the various schemes which are available for which you can apply, and what is the different type of support which you can request from these various associations and from various ministries. So a very important aspect is enhancing the TVET and industry partnership. Then dear participants, we have the provide hands-on training. So when we are talking about practical experience, we need to provide hands-on training. For this, we need to offer internship, apprenticeship, work-based learning opportunities, which will allow the students to apply their skills in real-world settings. So very, very important is Even if you don't have other things, you can provide them some internship in some industry, some apprenticeship programs can be there. You need to give them some training, you need to give them some hands-on work, you need to give them some projects, like you can give them in some latest technologies. So you need to facilitate the student-led projects and simulations. The next very important is to establish business incubator and accelerators. So in my presentation, I have given you a brief how you can establish the importance of business incubator centers. So you will have to find out if there are any business incubators prevalent, any accelerators, any schemes which are there from the government, and if you can establish that. So there are two modes. You can take help of the government, or you can also establish them with the help of some industry. Sometimes the industry also partners with the institutes and they set up their incubators in the institute. So that also can be done. Next is providing access to mentorship, funding, and resources. Again, another very important duty is for the mentorship, funding, and resources to the students for establishing of their own enterprises. To promote entrepreneurial competition, another very important thing you can do is you can organize certain business plan competitions. First, take a workshop, give them a workshop, how you can plan, how you can make a business plan. Then you promote it by organizing some competitions, by organizing some hackathons, by organizing some pitch events to encourage the students to showcase their ideas and develop their entrepreneurial skills. Then very important is to, apart from industry, you need to foster partnership with other businesses, other industry leaders. For example, when I showed you this graph, if you see here, a major part of employment, if you see this Myanmar graph, major part of employment is in the agriculture sector. So please see if you can collaborate with some agriculture sectors, with some dairy farming related to that. If you can do small projects with the help of these in the field of industry here does not mean that you have to go in a manufacturing unit only. Industry here means, or organization here means, you can do something for the agricultural field, you can do something for the medical field, you can do something in collaboration with the biotechnology field. So you have to foster the partnership where you want to work. Whether you want to do something for the community, something you have to provide mentorship, some networking, right? So this partnership you will have to foster, you will have to find a partner in your institute. So they can help you in two ways. They can give you some projects, or they can also help you for some financial inputs. So another important is to provide access to the resources, to essential resources such as technology and equipment. We talked about this, some business software and tools, information and research materials. So all these resources need to be provided to the students. And very, very important, a wonderful initiative by Myanmar, that they are have this particular program. And I remember in Nepal also they nominated faculty to attend a faculty program there. So it is very important to develop a faculty capacity. Participants, as you, Dr. Mo told you, Diana told you in the beginning in my introduction, I am from National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research. So we at NITTR, we are at our institute, we are doing these type of faculty programs only. So our mandate is the to training to the faculty. So it is a very good initiative to develop the faculty capacity. So to promote a supportive and encouraging environment that values creativity, risk taking, innovation. Very important part. You can write it in the canvas, which I will be. Just excuse me. Let me have a glass of water. So celebrate student success and showcase entrepreneurial role models. This is very important. Then what are the key considerations? Adapting to local needs. See, every area, every place have their own local needs. Like we saw that lot of employment opportunities are in the agricultural field. So you So you need to find the specific needs which are there in the local economy. You will have to see in your place, in your country, what are the major specific opportunities, what are the specific needs which are local to you. So you need to adapt to those local needs. Very, very important is today in technopreneurship, we talk about digital skills. So digitizing everything, providing digital skills to the students, that is important in whichever field they are going. And these two, globally, these two things are given a lot of emphasis. One is digitization and second is social entrepreneurship. So we need to encourage the students to develop businesses that solve some social problems, some environmental challenge. So address some social and environmental challenge. So these are the key considerations, that is establishment of business incubation centers, then implementation of public-private partnerships and enhancing TVET and industry partnership. So dear participants, I will conclude my presentation. After that, we will start with the workshop. For any country, entrepreneurship is an important tool which can address the issues pertaining to economic growth and stability, as well as the measurement of the well-being. So entrepreneurial success is greatly affected by the ecosystem or environment in which it is operating its business. The establishment of various science and research parks and business incubation facilities has improved the overall ecosystem to a large extent. So if we want to improve our ecosystem, these are the key factors which are required for enhancing the ecosystem of any country, of any institution. So dear participants, with this, I come to the end of my presentation. That is the theme paper number 1. We are in the second part of our workshop. That is second part of our session, that is workshop on institutional ecosystem design. So how you can have an entrepreneurial ecosystem in your own institutes. We will try to do that. So if we see the entrepreneurial ecosystem model for TVET, if we want to develop some entrepreneurial capacity of a learner, so these are the 8 resources which are there. We have talked about some of them previously also. That is policy and strategy, what is there. What are the resources which are there? Governance and partnership. What is the training and support we have for the teachers? Curricula and what are the pedagogies which we are using for delivering our sessions? What are the various modes, learning modes beyond curricula? One is your syllabi, one is your curriculum. But apart from that, what extra you are doing? How to assess and recognition. So in our country also, lot of emphasis is given to the assessment tools which we are using, and what is the support for career or for startups which we are getting. So policy and strategy means these points will be helpful in the workshop. So policy level actions and strategies basically support and shape entrepreneurial learning in TVET. So already Dr. Moore has already told us that there is a dedicated Department of Science and Technology. So what other agencies are there? What other policies are there which are helping us in the education, in the employment, in the environment, and in the economy of the system? That is very important. So it depends upon what emphasis the government policies or your institute policies are giving for the creating that entrepreneurial ecosystem. Then we have already talked about what are the various resources which we are getting, exploring and securing various resources, whether they are in the public domain or whether they are in the private domain. It can be both in the form of financial or non-financial resources. Then governance and partnership, again, very important. If you are partnering with your community, if you are partnering with your community, sometimes you are helping some community for some local work. So governance and partnership, then and training. So ecosystem approach, explore access to training. If we are saying that we want to develop entrepreneurs in our institute, then are there some trainers available? Who will train? Who will guide who will guide these students who want to become potential entrepreneurs? First of all, you will train the teacher. Only then you will train the trainer. Only then he will be able to disseminate that knowledge to his students. So this is again very important, and it should be a part of curriculum framework. Then what is the curriculum? Is there any subject of entrepreneurship? Are you teaching your students how to have a startup? Are you teaching your students how to innovate? And what are the pedagogies which we are using? Pedagogy means what are the various methods which we are using for teaching. See, initial years, there was only one simple method. We used to have a blackboard and a chalk. But now today we are talking about so many of new things. Online teaching is there, online tools are there, even augmented reality and other things are used. Virtual reality is used where you actually go and experience that factor. So what are the latest pedagogies which we are using in our learning modes other than the formal curriculum? We are just teaching them, we are just getting the output. Are we doing some extracurricular activities, learning activities, some online learning channels are there? Then how are we assessing the output from your graduates? See, one simple assessment is you are taking examination at the end of that. But are you taking feedback once a student leaves your TVT? Has he been employed? Where has he been employed? Is he doing his own business? Does he has his own entrepreneurial venture? Assessment and recognition, sharing this case studies of this is very important. Then support to career path and startups. What type of support we are providing to a startup? If a student has some mind, he has some innovative idea, are we supporting him? So dear participants, as I told you in the beginning, there is a 100-page report. I will show you some briefs about that. So in that report, they have designed a entrepreneurial learning institutional canvas, which we call as ELIC. This canvas is actually a guide to integrate entrepreneurial learning into the TVT's institutions using entrepreneurial learning institution canvas. So basically, this canvas, when you will design this canvas, you will be able to see or look at the entrepreneurial learning ecosystem in your institute. So this is a tool designed by them. It is a conceptual tool for strengthening the entrepreneurial learning at the institutional level. So this you will have to prepare, but I'm here to help you to prepare this canvas. That is why I requested sir to ask you to bring a chart paper so that you can make that on the chart paper. Later on, you can take a photograph of that chart paper and you can share it with all. Right. So I have gone through that UNESCO document. This is a entrepreneurial learning guide by UNESCO and UniValk. So they have prepared these entrepreneurial learning institutional canvas for especially for the TVT institutions. Though in the chart they have written that you can have that sticky notes, but what you have to do, participants, just understand that you will make a chart and you divide it into 12 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see 5 at the top, then 5 at the bottom and 2 at the last. So you divide your chart paper. If you do not have a chart paper, you can take 12 pages. Yeah, but if it is better that you have a chart paper. On this chart paper, basically, they have 5 sticky notes. And each sticky note is having one topic, which I will explain you how to write that. In this sticky, instead of sticking note, what you will do, you will divide your chart paper into these 12 parts and you will write these key headings on these 12 parts. And under these 12 key headings, you will be writing the various points in this. What to write in this, that I will explain to you. But this is our workshop for today. At the end of the workshop, you will be able to have certain points under all these headings, and then you can take it back to your institute. And if you are able to use these things, if you are able to even work on these things, I think you will be able to enhance the entrepreneurial ecosystem of your institute. And like Dr. Ma has told me that there is presently many of the institutes do not have that entrepreneurial system. So you will be able to initiate that entrepreneurial ecosystem in your institute. So only my one question is, let me go back. So my question is, shall we have, just a moment, let me go back. So, just help me here. Shall we have participants separately, or do you think we can go in teams?
I guess, Dr. Niraj, I guess we can assign them individually with this assignment, but they can work in groups. So Colombo plan,
Can take help.
yes, absolutely. CPSC can bifurcate them into the groups for the sake of their effective communication and better understanding.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but yes, absolutely. But the best strategy would be if we allow them to perform this exercise individually. Dr.
Okay,
Mo,
okay.
what you say?
I don't know. I'm not able to see the screen.
Yeah, Professor Naeem.
Okay, so
think-
this is good. They can take help. I will be also here all the time. I will be guiding them how to prepare it. So I will be sharing my inputs during the workshop also. But okay, we will go with as suggested by Professor. Let me go back. Actually, we are used to using Google Meet. So I was not able to see. Okay. More used to using Google Meet. Okay, so dear participants, what you have to do is you take your chart paper and you take your pen and you divide it into these 12 parts. So in the first part, we will be doing just write down the headings for these 12 key points. What we have to write in these key points, I will tell you. So the first part in this is value proposition. So it is a learning guide by Univoc. I will also share certain points from the. Okay, now I got it. Now I can see it. So I will also share the document with you if you need to. So I will. This is the first point, value proposition. In the first column, you write value proposition. In the second, you write the target group. In the third, you have to write the entrepreneurial competencies. In the fourth, you have to write the curriculum. Just a moment. Curriculum approach. Yes. So these are, I will share you when you are starting this. Then in number 5, you have to write the key activities. Number 6 are the key resources. So they have numbered these various points, I think, depending upon their flow. And then 7 is your core team. 8 are the key stakeholders. 9 is the assessment. 10 are the channels and 11 are the organizational structures. So now you will say what to write in value proposition. Actually, there are 2 points. The first part you will question yourself is what is the available resources for this. Second, what you think you can do on your part. So the participants, they have given some hints to us how to write this value proposition. What value does entrepreneurial learning produce for learners in your institution? If the answer is no, then what value does entrepreneurial learning you expect in your institution that you have to write? So what value does entrepreneurial learning produce for your TVET institutions? So here you have to give a clear, compelling message explaining why entrepreneurial learning is needed. To tell you more detail in value proposition, is there a national, regional, or local strategy for entrepreneurial learning? What value does this strategy pursue? Like sir told you that there is Department of Science and Technology, there are departments, they are providing some strategies, they are providing some schemes so that you can explore what value does entrepreneurial learning produce for your learners, and what does they produce for your institution. So the first part is what already is existing. The second part is how you can solve the problem if it is not there, and if it is at a lower level, how you can enhance it. So which problem will be solved? A social problem in the community, underemployment. Basically, it is what is the mission you want to solve. So what benefit or added value does your TVET institution offer your target group? Why should partners of the school support this? And articulating the value proposition is not easy. Find out what other TVET institutions are doing. Consult your stakeholders, especially learners and graduates. So this is what you have to put it in the value proposition. I will tell you first of all briefly, then one by one when you are writing, we can help you. Then the second box, you have to write down the target group. Who are your most important target groups? What are the characteristics of target group? Here, participants, you will have to explore your TVET where you are working. So your target group will be the students. In this, you will have to see what type of students are there, what type of people will be there, what are their gender approximately, because that why we talk about target group, because sometimes we are creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem at a higher level. So I will show you from the document that they have given a very good example of our country also, where a number of schemes are there for dropouts also. So government has established certain centers where they are training the dropouts. They are giving them some skills to the dropouts who have not gone to the any type of, who don't have any type of formal education. So here you will note down, okay, this is my target group. These are the people who want to, or who are our target groups. How will the entrepreneurial learning help them create value? The target group should be clearly defined. So list the person. Here you can also tell the group of users with certain characteristics. So suppose already some entrepreneurial work is going on. So already you have some target group who has already undergone some training. For example, if you talk about the faculty who has undergone some training, that will be your prior group, that, okay, they have undergone that training. So they are good as a for them. So the next one is the entrepreneurial competencies. So participants, it is not a single competency. There are a number of entrepreneurial competencies. Which competencies you want to strengthen? What are your learning goals? What type of competencies you want to strengthen? You can tell here, you want to strengthen them in technology, like in the morning session, there was on technology. You want to strengthen them in some social entrepreneurship. Suppose you adopt some village, you adopt some rural area. So what type of competencies you need to achieve, that you have to mention here. So when you talk about entrepreneurial competencies, according to UNESCO Univoc Entrepreneurial Guide, they have listed all the competencies under 3 parts. If you see here, under 3 parts, that is, the first one is ideas and opportunities. Second one is the resources. Third one is the into action. So the first competencies are supporting opportunities, whether they have creativity, whether they have vision, whether they have value, whether they value the ideas, whether they have ethical and sustainable thinking. So when we talk about entrepreneurial competencies, these are of 3 types. Whether you want to start at the first level, that is creating the ideas and opportunities. Second is the resource level, mobilizing the resources, mobilizing others. Then financial and economic literacy, self-awareness and self-efficiency, motivation and perseverance. The third one is learning into action. Now they have an idea, they have the resources. The last and final is whether they are able to plan and manage, whether they are able to take the initiative, whether they are able to work with others, whether they are able to learn through experience. So these are the into action competencies. So participants, I also have one worksheet which I have shared with you. That worksheet we will be doing in this workshop only. That worksheet is to note down your own competencies, and you can share that sheet with your students, and you can see from that worksheet, from that questionnaire, you will be able to know which student is good in which type of competency. So that also we will try to do in this workshop, but these are some of the key competencies of the as shared by this guide. Then curriculum approach, I will not go much because already yesterday there was a session on curriculum approach. In this, participants, you will first of all note down, suppose you are in TVET, this is a 3-year program. So in these 3 years, what are the various courses they are already learning related to curriculum, related to entrepreneurship? If there are no courses, is there a possibility that you can add certain courses on entrepreneurship? If that is also not possible, there is now another way through MOOCs or through online distance education. You can give them some modules in this 100-page. They have listed and taken certain modules which you can give the students as an assignment so that they get some know-how about this entrepreneurship. So here you will note down if there is anything being already integrated in your curriculum related to the entrepreneurship. If not, how you can suggest various ways of adding this subject or adding some activity related to entrepreneurship in your TVET program. So this will be related to your own TVET program where you are working. So key activities, what type of learning activity you want to add to the target group? One activity I will be giving you today, this is to note down the key competencies of your entrepreneur. That can be one part. Apart from that, what activities you can do? So participants, these days there are a number of activities, there are a number of hackathons, there are a number of competitions. If your student have some idea, there are a number of pitch rounds where the students give their pitches, and where there are investors, you can call some investors in your institutes where your students can pitch their ideas. And sometimes these investors, they are ready to put in money, they are ready to invest in the ideas of the students. So these type of activities, can you think of some activities which you can propose, some type of tools which can help to create that entrepreneurial environment in your institution? Maybe a small activity can be a visit to an industry, or some getting them some key projects from the industry where they can work in collaboration with the industry. So all these key activities you have to list under the topic of key activities. What resources are needed and what you already have? Do you have any key resources? Are there faculty available? Is there any finance available? Can you collaborate with some industries and provide you some finance? Can you apply for certain schemes, government schemes? Can you collaborate, or can you take help from some nearby incubation unit which can help your students? Here you will do the main part, what resources you can arrange and what are the existing sources. See, in all the topics, you will have to write down what is already existing and what you can add. Then who will be the core team? Maybe the head of your institution, if he's ready, some coordinator, all you people who are attending this, you can coordinator of the core team. Then you can take some potential students and you make a core team of your entrepreneurship. These core team members will be conducting these activities. They will be looking into the matter. You can have a small incubation center, a small entrepreneurial center of your own by creating that core team. So today you can identify the people who are willing to be the core team. See, in this, whenever you make a team, it is always advisable. You first make a team who are willing. Just ask or make a questionnaire. You ask them, who are the people who are willing to become member of the core team? Who are your key stakeholders? If you are a TVET, first of all, the students who are the learners here, the teachers, parents of the students, they are also the key stakeholders. Industry partners, they are the key stakeholders. The external partners who are contributing, they are the key stakeholders. So list down, make a list of the key partners already you must be having some industrial partnership, some other partnership. So they are also the key stakeholders. So note down who are the key stakeholders and with whom some new key stakeholders whom you can add. Then assessment again is very important. How to take the feedback. Like I would tell you this program, CPSE program, they take assignments also. At the end, they take the feedback also, which is a very good thing. So if you have, you need to assess the entrepreneurial learning output, what they have got. If you are giving some training to the students, how to assess them, whether you are taking a written test, whether you are assessing them by giving them some live projects. So there are numerous new methods of assessment also. So you can note down here. What are the various channels? How are the benefits of entrepreneurial learning communicated? If you are doing something in the field of entrepreneurship, how you will communicate it? One simple method is you can communicate it through your WhatsApp group. You can communicate through your website. You can communicate it through other channels. If you have some social media channel. So if you're trying to do something related to entrepreneurship, how you will communicate it with the outside world? So that things you have to note. If you have a social Facebook channel, Facebook is there. If you have some groups for your social media groups are there. So how to communicate with other stakeholders. So this channel is also very important. What is the organizational structure which is there? Like sir has told me just now that DST is there. Under DST, there are certain institutes. Under TVET, you have various departments. So what is the type of organizational structure you have? So how you can strengthen the organizational culture at your TVET institution? So list down the organizational work. So how you can strengthen it? So this is what you have to give. Then key metrics and monitoring. How can the development of entrepreneurial competencies be monitored and how you can evaluate the impact? Maybe after a year, you take a survey, what you have taught, you have started entrepreneurial journey, what impact it has. So make a list of impact indicators and you note it down. So dear participants, this is all the key points, what are there. So our first workshop is to create this chart, divided into 12 parts, sorry, 11 parts. No, 12 are there, yes, 5 to 12 parts, and start working on this